Right after the crash, everything's a blur. Your body's in shock. The other driver's saying it was your fault. And you're not even sure if you should talk to the insurance yet. And in those first few hours and days, one wrong move can hurt your health, your claim, and your chances of getting compensated at all. We're Indiana personal injury attorneys, and we've guided hundreds and hundreds of clients through this exact moment when the decisions you make next matter more than most people realize. In this video, we'll walk you through the critical first steps to take after a car accident so you can protect your health, your case, and avoid mistakes that can cost you thousands. So, what's the first thing we're doing after we're in a car accident, Chris?
Well, the first thing obviously is just to make sure you are safe, you're not injured, your occupants are okay and they're not injured. That's obviously that's the first thing that comes to everyone's mind, especially if you've got kids or your own kids in the vehicle. Next would be simply to call the police.
Yeah. You want to call the police because the police are going to come and start gathering some evidence. And evidence is real important in these types of cases because it doesn't exist for a long time always. And so you want to gather it while it's still there.
You know what's unique about the police, though? Sometimes in our industry, people call the police, but the police don't come out to the scene because it's on private property, or they come out, but then sometimes there's issues with the police report. So just because you call the police doesn't mean that there's going to be a police report.
Yeah.
So make sure you follow up with the officer to ask for a copy of the police report. Here in Indiana, they'll give you a little card that has I think it has like an ID on it where you can go to buycrash.com and get a copy of your police report.
Yeah. So you want to get the officers out there. The officer's going to talk to you about what happened, give them your version of events. And so just make sure you're real clear. You're not at the scene apologizing to people. Lots of times you might feel it's important to say sorry to the other person that hit you, even if it was their fault. Oh, I'm so sorry. Don't do that. I understand you want to be polite and nice, but if you are apologizing at the scene for things that weren't your fault just because you're trying to be polite, that can actually be used against you. So don't do that.
Yeah, keep in mind, most officers nowadays have body cameras, and more often than not, they're going to be recording the events. It's becoming very, very, very common. So we always encourage everyone, of course, after the fact to be nice, be cordial, be polite. A lot of those things, if you're confrontational, if you're argumentative, if you're yelling and screaming and cussing at the other person, and that's evidence that could come in at a trial on the officer's dash cam video.
Yeah. Body cam. So
What did I say?
you said dash cam.
Oh yeah,
I mean, I suppose if you're right in front of the car.
they do have
Yeah, always, yeah,
in the car too.
yeah,
Lots of cameras,
yeah.
cameras everywhere.
And sometimes they have cameras to the back seat of their car, and hopefully you're not on that camera.
Probably not.
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
Yeah. Gather evidence at the scene. So even if the police officer's there taking photographs or taking statements, get that your stuff yourself as well. I'm not saying you need to go around and get statements, but if you know names of witnesses, write those down. Exchange phone numbers because sometimes there will be 5 witnesses at a scene, but the police officer only mentions one of them because he thinks the others are redundant. Well, gosh, they all told me the same thing, so I only need to get one of their names into this police report. Eyewitness testimony is rarely, if ever, consistent. You have 5 people tell 5 different stories, even though they might be slightly different. When it comes to litigation, those slight differences can make a huge difference. So gather your own evidence at the scene, take photographs of your vehicle, where your vehicle is in relation to the intersection, in relation to the other vehicle. So you're not just taking up close pictures of your car, you're backing away and taking photographs. Chris likes his clients to take videos of the scene if you can. I'm not a huge fan of videos at the scene just because usually they're really, really bad. And many times they pick up audio of my own clients saying things I wish weren't recorded necessarily. So when do we notify our insurance company?
You should notify your insurance company immediately that you probably have different types of coverage that can help pay for things. I think more often than not, a lot of our clients initially are concerned about their car, whether it's totaled or getting around car so that they can get to work. If you have full coverage, which personally I think full coverage is it's a misnomer, if you will, because it sounds good, but in practicality, it doesn't give you doesn't tell you what type of coverage you really have or what it's going to do or how it's going to help you. But notify your insurance company immediately. They may or may not want a statement from you. If it's your company, so if you got State Farm, you would need to do that. If you talk, we would encourage you not to talk to the other person's insurance company prior to talking to a lawyer. Talk to a lawyer first. They'll give you the help that you would need to be able to handle those types of conversations. And about recorded statements, you talk to the other person's insurance company.
Well, yeah, we don't want to do that with recorded statements from the at-fault party's insurance company because remember, you're not required to do that. They're gathering evidence and understand they're there trying to do their job. They're trying to evaluate the claim to figure out if it's something they need to pay for or not. But they're doing so from the perspective of protecting their insured, and so they're not gathering information from you hoping to pay you money. And so you want to be very careful. And they're very good at designing the questions in a way to lead you to places that maybe you didn't necessarily mean. And they're going to ask you questions asking for details that I know you don't know in terms of measurements at the scene of time and speed and distance. And these are things nobody's measuring. But they'll still ask you for those. And most people are willing to guess at measurements. Your guesses aren't going to be right. And even if they were right, that's not really that helpful for you, believe it or not, because they're never going to use your right guesses to help you. They just want you to guess wrong. So be real careful. And you're also going to be careful with your statements to your own company. Just because it's your own company doesn't mean the statement can't be used against you eventually. So be careful what you do when you give that statement, because many times you're giving the statement when it's very early on. You're giving that statement the day of the accident or the next day, and you might not even know, especially with in regards to your physical health, everything that's wrong yet. But you're going to be going on record stating everything. So just be very careful. Keep your information short and sweet and to the point.
Yeah, the problem or the issue with the statements would be they come across in the beginning as very casual. Okay, I just need to get this recorded statement for the file. And then you're having this conversation with an adjuster, and it seems very, very simple, very simplistic. They're trained on what questions to ask. They're trained on what evidence to gather. And so if you get into a lawsuit or you go to court, then if you say something different, that statement that you said earlier could be used against you and it could hurt you.
Yeah.
So it's no different than posting on social media.
Yeah, I mean, so like when you say to the adjuster, I feel okay, it just means I'm alive, right? Just like when you're posting on social media, you post a picture of your accident. Here's the car. Here's all the twisted metal of this car, and then of course you're getting dozens of comments after. Oh my gosh, or how is everybody? And you're responding, everybody's okay. Again, in the context of what happened, this twisted metal of a picture, you're really saying everybody made it out alive, right? You're not saying my neck feels great. You're not saying I'm going to be going through physical therapy for the next 8 months. You're just saying everyone's okay because you're not there to whine and complain. You're just saying, hey, this is what happened today. And I thought it was pretty
Everyone's
interesting.
alive.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, really and this is hard to do. And frankly, usually this is done before anyone ever calls us, is they're posting on social media. Because when you get in an accident and if you're an active person on social media, it's the most interesting thing that's going to happen to you that day.
Yeah, you're probably going to post pictures of the car, especially if the cars look like pop cans.
Yeah, yeah. So, and again, I don't think those types of posts are incredibly harmful. It's when you get into the comment section of, hey, here's what happened. Because again, you're not under oath right there. And everything can be taken out of context. Let's say a jury were to read through all those comments and you're saying you're okay. Now they're all of a sudden they're taking that as fact when you were just talking conversationally, hey, I'm okay. But social media, where my clients or folks in general can really hurt themselves on social media, is in the months following your accident when you're potentially still going through a bunch of medical treatment, but you're not living your medical treatment online. You're just living your life online, right? Hey, here I am at Cedar Point with the family, right? That's great. But what you didn't post from that day is, oh, I didn't get to ride any of the rides because my neck is killing me. Or, gosh, I shouldn't have ridden those rides because, man, I really paid for it the next day. So it can be really harmful to be active on social media after an accident.
I had a client, good case, good client, one of the best clients I've ever had, the nicest.
I was your client once.
Yes, you were. I'm talking about you. But
This guy was like second place.
yes. behind you. Yes. But anyway, he had neck and back issues. He had some knee issues. He had surgery on those body parts. But unfortunately, pretty heavy on social media. Wife was heavy on social media. And there was a lot of the issue of their case with social media. He had a great case. He testified really well. He was extremely presentable. However, there was a lot of vacation posting and their profiles were public. We didn't know if the defense had accessed their social media pages or not, but it presented an issue where if we were going to go to trial, because at this point we had gone through all this litigation, were they going to pull these Facebook posts out and say, "Ah, I got you"?
If you have a good lawyer on the other side, they're gonna, and your stuff is public, they're gonna find it. Sometimes, frankly, more often than you think, the other lawyers are just lazy and they don't find this stuff. But the closer you get to trial, then they are hyper focusing on you, and then maybe it shows up. But
The issue there is you have a story by our client saying, "Hey, I can't do these things," or "Here's how it's impacting me." But then you have pictures on social media of nice vacation resort type places, the beach. But Chad's right. That's only half the story.
it's not even half the story.
Yes,
It's just a fraction. So it, it is a moment in time of, oh, there's a picture of you smiling. We're brothers-in-law, and
no, we're brothers.
yeah, we're brothers. Your mom sent a picture of one of my kids to me yesterday, and it was just a snapshot in time, and I could tell from the picture that, oh my gosh, he is so upset. He is so upset right now. But it was one of those live pictures where you hold on it and it moves a little bit. And he wasn't upset. He was just in the middle of taking a bite. And it was just, so it made it look like he was super upset. And I interpreted that picture in an entirely wrong way because it was just a brief moment in time. And so what you have to look at on social media is, how is that brief moment in time, how could it be interpreted? And so what I tell every single client, and none of them listen to me, in between the time you sign on the dotted line with me and the time you sign on the dotted line for your release and your case is done, don't post a single thing on social media.
It's probably the best.
Yeah. It's hard, but that is the best course. So, all right, we got off on a sidetrack there on social media. So after an accident, we're making sure everybody's okay. We're making sure we're okay. We're calling the police. We're calling the insurance company to set up our own claims. We're not posting on social media, but we're also going to keep track of our medical expenses and other expenses. So basically, the at-fault party is responsible for reimbursing you for any expense that you had that you wouldn't have had except for the accident happening. I was going to go on vacation. I didn't get to go on that vacation, and I had to rebook, and there were some rebooking fees, right? And so you wouldn't have had those expenses except for the accident happened. But medical records, keep track of that stuff. Keep track of your mileage. So when you're driving to physical therapy 3 times a week, figure out how much, what's that round trip in mileage they owe you for that.
Really, anything that relates to your case that you wouldn't have normally done or spent, keep track of it. The best clients that come in our doors and become our clients are the highly detailed clients that they've helped us a lot with tracking of these things. They provide these things. They get their lost wage information.
Yeah.
It makes it a lot easier for us just to accumulate the data.
Yeah, and if you're a self-employed person, lost wage information is something that we're going to rely heavily on you, right? So if you have a 9 to 5 job and you know what you make every hour and you miss 10 hours of work, it's really easy to figure out what you missed in earnings. If you do contract work, right? And so, and your income is like this, I mean, some months it's great, some months it's not. You tracking what jobs you missed or what sales you didn't get.
Or if you had to hire a sub to do it.
Yeah.
Those are things that we're going to depend heavily on our clients for. So the better you can document everything, the better your case is going to be.
Yeah.
6 tips.
Yeah. The seventh is talk to a lawyer. A lot of clients who come in, especially in a conservative place like Indiana, most people, believe it or not, are not itching to hire a lawyer. I have had so many clients apologize for setting the appointment with me. I'm so sorry I have to talk to you, right? Look, first of all, it's what we're here for. Just because you talk to a lawyer does not mean you're a litigious person. It doesn't mean you're doing something wrong. It means that you're involved in a process where the other side, the insurance company, has done it thousands and thousands of times, and many times you've never done it at all. And so at the very least, talk to somebody, a lawyer, who has. It doesn't mean you have to hire the lawyer. It just means, hey, what are the warning signs? What are the red flags? What are the things I need to be looking out for? And a lawyer can help walk you through that. A first call with most lawyers is going to be free. They're not going to charge you for it. And the lawyer might tell you, hey, you don't have a case. This isn't something we would handle for you. Or this is something you absolutely need a lawyer for. And I tell clients all the time, look, if it's one of those cases where they need a lawyer, you don't have to hire me, but you need to hire somebody. Now, we would love to take the case if it's a case that the type of case we handle, but find a lawyer you're comfortable with, hire that lawyer, and let the lawyer do their job. And then you worry about getting better.
Yeah, we call them new PIs or initial consults.
New PI cases and a new personal injury case.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think most of the lawyers, all the lawyers in our firm are pretty patient, understanding. Sometimes those consults can last a long time because there's a lot of questions to go over, but you should find an attorney who is no different than a doctor, where they've got a good bedside manner. They listen to you. They're not looking at you as a number or just a case.
Yeah.
They're listening to your story. They're taking the time to answer your questions. Certainly, that's something that we put a lot of emphasis on here at our firm. And I think that's no different than when you're consulting with anybody in any particular field.
Yeah. And to stress, these are the things you're doing shortly after an accident. We've had people call us from the ambulance on the way to the hospital.
Or the day before their statute.
And if you're really worried about something and you need information when you're still at the scene, that's fine. But usually you shouldn't be calling us from the scene of the accident. Or you have people waiting 2 years because they think they're going to figure it out on their own, and they're calling us the night before their deadline of settling their case. You should be calling within the first week. You should be calling within the first couple days, not because you're looking to sue, but because there's a lot of traps out there and you want to find out what they are. You want to find out, what should I be doing? A lot of insurance companies will try to sell your case within the first 3 days of the accident, which is incredibly unfair. You have no idea what your medical bill is going to be. Call a lawyer early just to get some advice. So after the accident, we're making sure everyone's okay. We're calling the police. We're gathering evidence. We're keeping track of our own expenses. We're not posting on social media. We're talking to an attorney because it's fun. I love talking to attorneys. Yeah, so you're looking to protect your health. You're looking to protect your rights, and making sure you get treated fairly. So, but what do we do if the other driver doesn't have insurance? That's actually more common than you think, and that's what we're going to cover in our next video. What to do in a car accident when the other driver has no insurance. You don't want to miss that one, because knowing what to do could save you thousands of dollars and endless headaches. So we'll see you over there.